You are unmuted.
Your next witness, please, Mr. Lally.
Yes, Your Honor. The call will call Jennifer McCabe to the stand.
On the morning of January 29, shortly after arriving to 34 Fairview Road, Jen McCabe was vulnerable. She was alone. Not physically, but without a story, without any of the lies. The lies that will later take the attention off of her, putting Karen Reed directly in the spotlight. When officers Mullaney and Good from Canton PD arrive, they both talk with Jenny. What she tells them will be told for the first time and the last. In my beliefs, this is the actual truth about what happened when Karen and John arrived, not what has been fabricated in the hours shortly after Officer O'Keefe was discovered. Not what was fabricated, what was changed, what was denied for 2 years, and still continues to this day. According to Officer Good's report, Jennifer states, quote, "She saw Karen and John pull up in their car and saw the passenger door open, but they never came in, and she saw the car drive off."
So I pull at the foot of the driveway, it's snowing, John has no coat on, it's windy, so I drop him off, he goes up the driveway and approaches the side door. And
it's the interior of the vehicle as you're yielding to this vehicle taking a right. What, if any, observations did you make of people inside that other vehicle?
I've noticed a male and a female in the car.
Reed says after about 10 minutes of waiting in her car, she became irritated that O'Keefe still hadn't gotten in touch with her, and she drove back to his home where she continued calling him.
As I passed by, yes.
And you saw one person?
That's all I saw at the time, yes.
Female with long hair, is that
correct?
Right? And you did not see anybody else inside that SUV?
No, not to my knowledge.
I had noticed as we were pulling away the female in the driver's seat.
As far as the male passenger that you saw as you were pulling onto the street, could you see him at that point?
I did not see any other person, just the female in the driver's seat.
In Jenny's next report, sometime shortly after 6 a.m., she tells Officer Mahoney the following, quote, "She told me John O'Keefe was dropped off by Reed sometime between 12 and 1 a.m.
You then texted your wife, Brian Albert, and Nicole Albert, quote, "Tell them the guy never went in the house," correct?
Yeah, that's part of the same text. Yes.
Mr. McCabe, who was the guy that you were referring to? Does he have a name?
That would be John O'Keefe.
He was not at the house when John was there, so I drove him home. So the people are harassing him saying he was at the house when it's not true.
She told me John O'Keefe was dropped off by Reed sometime between 12 and 1 a.m.
And can you describe the person that you saw? Where were they? First of all, where were they in the car?
They're in the driver's seat.
And can you describe what the person looked like?
It was a woman. I observed that there was a person inside the car with the interior light on.
And that would be sort of a dome light, is that right?
Correct, sir, yes.
While you were there, you never observed that black SUV strike anyone, correct?
Correct.
All right. You didn't see a person standing or lying on the ground anywhere around that SUV, did you?
No.
Did you see that SUV in front of you drive up 50 or 60 feet, slam into reverse, and then drive backward?
No.
Okay. At any point, did you see that SUV reverse and hit a pedestrian?
Objection.
Sir.
I'll allow that. You didn't see that, right?
No, sir.
It is ma'am. You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again, ma'am. I need your corporate number.
Have a seat.
Sir.
With regard,
I don't know, 2023 may have been the feds.
But that was awesome.
All right, Flipperhead, let's get back on track. Next up, let's talk about the Jeep.
Where'd you fucking park the car, boo-boo?
You never once, Miss McCabe, not once, mentioned a several-ton Jeep with a snowplow attached to it, did you? Let's take another look at the report. Would that refresh your recollection to see the report?
Objection.
Do you think that will help you?
I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
May I?
Yes.
5 hours later.
You've had an opportunity to review.
I have, yeah.
That looks like a report from Trooper Proctor. Interview, correct?
Correct.
That interview was taken on January 29th, correct?
Correct.
That interview was taken just a few hours, not days or weeks, hours after the events in question, correct?
Correct.
And you were asked what you saw, what you observed in front of 34 Fairview on that morning, correct? I'm sorry, the night before, correct?
He asked specific questions about Miss Reed's vehicle.
Said where you remember Miss Reed's vehicle being, you placed it in the exact spot where you're now saying there was a Jeep with a snowplow on it, correct?
Incorrect. I never placed Miss Reed's car in the spot where Mr. Higgins' vehicle was.
So as Trooper Proctor was taking notes about what you were saying, he just got it wrong.
You'd have to ask Trooper Proctor.
I will.
And do you recall where you parked in relation to the house?
I do, by the mailbox.
Hello, Ms. Maxson.
Hello.
The first time you were ever interviewed about this case by law enforcement was September 1st, 2023. Is that right?
Correct.
So you were not interviewed at or around February 7th when Ryan was
No.
February 7th, 2022.
Right.
You certainly did not see a full-size Jeep Wrangler outfitted with a snowplow between the SUV and Ricky's truck.
I did not.
Sounds like a ridiculous question. You didn't see any other cars. There were no other cars between the two.
Correct.
Were you interviewed by any state police investigator regarding this case on January 29th?
On that day?
Right.
No.
What about the next day or the rest of January or any day in February of 2022? Did the state police come to interview you about the information that you had as the driver of that vehicle?
No.
In fact, isn't it true that no investigator from the state police or the district attorney's office interviewed you anytime during the entire year of 2022?
Correct.
And in fact, you didn't see a Jeep with a snowplow parked anywhere on the property that you recall, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
And you didn't.
Say that again?
You told those two troopers that there were two other people in the car with you, Ricky D'Antonio?
Yes, in my vehicle. Yes, sir.
Okay. So they were well aware of the identity of Ricky D'Antonio and Heather Maxson. D'Antonio and Heather Maxson at the time.
Correct.
As early as February 7th, 2022.
Yes.
Any car pulled in between Ricky's truck and the SUV when you were sitting behind the SUV?
No, sir.
You didn't see a Jeep?
No, sir.
With a big old snowplow on the front of it?
No, sir, I did not.
That.
Get up. I'm going to put Joe Flipperhead on this.